The abuse of expense claims by our members of Parliament has been exercising the nation of late. Being ripped off by our rulers is not a new phenomenon, but knowing about it is. They wriggled and squirmed and took us to court, using our money to fight to keep us in the dark, but somehow, purely by accident we assume, some details escaped the Whitehall shredding machines and the truth was out. They pay their offspring and their other halves to do secretarial work that never gets done. They buy iPods and fish tanks. They travel coach, but claim for first class. They bought dilapidated properties, fixed them up with our money, paid the mortgage with our money, and when they sold up for profit, they returned the excess to us. Just kidding. They kept it all for themselves. So now, to the sound of much gnashing of teeth, a committee is looking into it. Oh, good, you think. But it's a committee of MPs. Oh, no, you think. Worse. They're led by that champion of the people and defender of the public purse, the Speaker of the House of Commons. The man who had £1 million worth of our money spent on his garden, in his lavish and extensive flat, which was refurbished for another £1 million, by us, and which he lives in for free. So don't expect their conclusions to favour us, the mugs who are stumping up for this bean feast. The proposals include keeping things as they are, but asking more questions of the MP's expense requests, like, do you really, really want a solid gold electric toothbrush? To which the answer, yes, would be acceptable. Another is to pay them a daily allowance on top of their salary when they attend Parliament. That's right, extra pay just to show up for work. And finally, to forget the whole claiming of expenses charade and to just accept a £40,000 lump sum to cover the lot. This last is almost comical in its disregard of public opinion. That would be to say, OK, we can't be trusted to file our own expenses, so just give us the money we would have claimed, and we won't have to lie to you about how we spend it. Don't fix the problem, fix the channel of communication that brought the whole thing out in the open in the first place. It's genius. Subsidised trebles all round. It's just the same old game. Here. Last Friday I came in during the daytime in my motor car and I forgot to pay the congestion charge.
Oh, no.
I only just remembered it today. I'm screwed, aren't I? You can't go back and pay for it, can you? Why not? Why can't you go back and pay for it? Why do you have to be fined just because you forgot it? They charge you extra if you buy it the next day. If you buy it a minute past midnight that night, they charge you another £2. Why is that then? Why do you have to be fined just because it slipped your mind? What idiot came up with that system? 0845 6060 973 about anything that you like, stuff that happened to you over the weekend, things that are in the news, on your mind, whatever. You can text 84850. How much is it going to cost me then? This is just really irritating. I was sitting in my car and then this wave of horror just came over me. I thought, oh no, I'm a criminal. I am essentially a criminal. I am being fined by the state for just having forgotten something. I've never tried to wriggle my way out of paying the congestion charge. I do. I pay it. Some days, occasionally, I'll forget that day and pay it in horror, adding an extra £2 the next. And that's okay. I didn't try to wriggle out of paying the congestion charge any more than I would leap over the barriers to get on the tube for free. But they have a system. It's called the Oyster card. It's genius. I think the same bloke thought up that thought up the disaster that's the blooming congestion charge. If he can think up one thing that's good for us, why couldn't he apply the exact same thing to the congestion charge? You just open an account, you log in your bank details, when your car goes into the zone, it takes £8 from you, that's that. Why not that? How simple would that be? I mean, they've got computers that you could launch a missile into space, they're so complicated. And you're telling me that they can't just add that extra feature to help us, rather than sit around. It's almost as though they're sitting around ready to pounce on us, like they're ambushing us, is what it feels like. Oh, you made a mistake. go directly to jail, do not pass go, do not collect £200. How much is that going to be then? Is it 50 quid?
I don't know, but Perry says, and we don't know this for fact because I haven't checked
Who,
it.
Perry Mason?
Yeah, that's him. He's taking time out of his busy legal schedule to help you. He's saying that you can pay today by 10 o'clock tonight because it's the next working day, and you still only get charged £10.
You're kidding me?
I wish I was, but no. I'll check that in a minute.
What do you mean you wish you were? You want to see me suffer? I can't wait till you go on breakfast. You have to get up at 4 o'clock in the morning. Ha-ha! I'm going to write that on the back of my hand. CC. And I'll go home tonight and I'm like, CC? What the hell does that mean?
No, but you have to do it by 10.
By 10? What do you mean by 10? Why by 10?
I don't know, that's what Perry said.
Does anybody have any inside information on this? Really, honestly, this has been an irritation, a thorn in my side. It must be irritating of almost everybody who's got a car and drives into London every now and again. You come in, you intended to pay the charge, other things are on your mind, and you just forget because somebody annoyed you that day, because your friend called you up, because there was something on TV, because you were watching a match between Italy and Spain, and you lapsed into unconsciousness halfway through. It was so dull. But fortunately, the right team won, eh? Because if Italy had gone on and eventually won it with that style of football, I mean, why don't they just all stand in the goal? Which was pretty much exactly what they were doing. Why don't they just brick up the goal and hope that the opposing side will score an own goal? Why did they even show up? We love your ice cream, and you make great suits, but for your football, you used to hang your heads in shame. If England, I mean, at least England are plucky losers. At least we give it a go. We make an effort. Italy was embarrassing. Oh, that was bad. Anyway, that's beside the point. But on Friday, you know, you're busy. It's the end of the week. You want to sing a little, sing Hallelujah and do yourself a little dance. And so I forgot. And that makes me a criminal in the eyes of the law, because that is what it is against. The law. I think it's an absolute bloomin' outrage. And not just because it's going to cost me some money. It must cost... I mean, the amount of people that must get caught in that trap on a daily basis, it must be thousands. Which is probably why... I wasn't probably too far from the truth. They are lying in wait, hiding in a bush, ready to trap you. Ah, you got it wrong. That's kind of like how it feels. It's like the state has declared war on us. Not even in Zimbabwe are people suffering like I'm suffering right now. 0845 6060 973. Here's Richmond. Hello, Alan.
Seriously, you hit the nail on the head there. Mugabe is jealous of our system. Yeah. I mean, he can't understand why we're not called dictators. Right. I mean, he actually thinks he's running democracy because of us.
Yeah, as soon as I get off the air, I'm calling NATO.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah, you can either pay it, you can ring them and pay it on your phone.
Yeah.
Or you can actually go online and do it, or to be quite honest, if you just want to text me your car number, I'll put it on low charge just so that they don't get your damn money.
Well, I tell you what, Alan, I'll
registered with them.
Yeah, I'll give you my account details.
No.
Have you got a pen?
You don't have to do that. All right? If you can't get to a phone and pay it, if you text me your car number, I will pay your congestion charge. So
well, I appreciate the offer, but I couldn't possibly accept. I'll just have to face the consequences. It's my fault. All right, but thanks for that.
Be put against the wall and let them shoot you.
Right, okay. Cheers, mate.
Okay, mate.
0845 6060 973. Is it really till 10 o'clock tonight? And if so, why? That's another way to catch you out. The day doesn't end at 10, it ends at 12, right? I can't believe that there's an amnesty from Friday till today because it's the next working day. Wapping. Hello, Elton.
Hello, Nick. I got so annoyed about getting to pay the congestion charge that I was speaking to Clive Bull about it a while ago, and he said, I said, what you need to do, Clive, is to have a daily reminder to remind all those people who are sort of fucked up with their slippers on, having driven home and parked their car, give a congestion charge.
Right.
And I became his congestion charge man.
Did you?
On sort of every evening. Anyway, that aside, I had a charge through the other day saying that you had broken the law, you were in the congestion charge, at 2 minutes 15 seconds past 7. So I thought,
at night?
this was in the morning.
Oh, right.
So I'd driven through from one side, and I was driving out of the congestion charge at 2 minutes 15 seconds past.
Yes, guilty.
So, guilty. You're nicked. It's a fair cop.
Yeah.
But I thought, well, let's be reasonable about this. So I appealed against it.
Did you?
I had to go to the to meet a guy in the Haymarket to appeal against it. He sat me down. He said, right, I'm a lawyer by trade, and I'm employed by, I don't forget who he's employed by. Anyway, he said I'd take an impartial view, blah, blah, blah. And he just went through it all, went through everything, checked all the details, and then he said, I don't know whether this is going to make this worse or better for you.
Yeah.
But on that particular day, you went through the congestion charge. The cameras were switched on at 2 minutes past 7. So basically, you've been done for 15 seconds.
15 seconds, yes.
He said, I am not allowed to give you any leeway. I realise how frustrating it is for you. 60 quid. Thank you very much.
60?
I think it was 60 quid. Yes. So, not very good, really. It's so annoying.
Yes, it is infuriating. I don't know why people aren't pulling up paving stones and throwing them at, well, I don't know, where would you throw them?
I think it must have cost me, since the congestion charge has been in 400 quid of my money, because I've forgotten. So.
Right. Tremendous value for money, eh?
But I do like to think that my daily evening reminder on Clive's show, which has now stopped, unfortunately, cost Ken a few bob. I really think it probably did.
Right, okay, I don't think the money goes to him personally, but whoever it is that's screwing us like this, yeah, they need a reminder of who they're doing this for. They're supposed to be working for us, not against us. It's not unreasonable. I mean, I'm not saying that people should be able to get out of paying the congestion charge, but make it more simple for people not to be fined all the time. It's,
Well, Nick, to be honest with you, I've found a way. I go from Chiswick, I drive from Wapping to Chiswick every day, and I've found a way in the morning that actually scoots past the congestion charge, and that's the route I take now.
Right.
It takes me... I drive further.
yeah, thereby harming the planet, but, yes.
So I drive further. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. Hey, listen, man, I've got to go. Coincidentally, here comes the travel news. But thanks very much. Best of luck. 0845 6060 973. It's 7:47. Travel news with Amanda Redmond.
Thanks very much, Nick. We'll still focus it. Hello, boys.
Here's call in Reading. Hello, Paul.
Good evening, sir. How are you?
Very well, thanks.
Good. Nick, sorry, I'm listening to your show, and I'm listening to the other guys, and just listening to you has made me so angry because 2 years ago, I had a contract in London for 7 weeks, and I got up there and I knew about the congestion charge, didn't really know what it involved, but I rang them up. I come home early at 2 o'clock, rang them up, and she said there's several ways you can pay. You can pay by a cheque, I believe, or get a card, but one way that she said was with a text. You can ring a text number and they'll take it off your credit card.
Right.
So I said, that's fine, I'll go for that. Set that all up, and I said to her, don't forget, I've been up there today, so take it off my card. Mm-hmm. She said, fine. Excuse me. So 3 days later, I got a fine. So I rang her up, and I said, look, this is wrong, etc., etc. She said, well, you have to appeal. You can't just stop it. So I wrote in and appealed, and she said, no, they said, sorry, you have to pay. So I said, well, I'm not paying, because I categorically know what I said.
Right.
So they said then, I said, you record your messages, your phone calls.
Yeah.
Listen to them. They said, we only record 5% of our calls. I said, well, that's not my problem. That's your problem. And in the letter they wrote me, they actually said, our operatives are highly trained.
Oh, undoubtedly, yeah.
And
they're experts.
We wouldn't have made that mistake.
No, of course not.
So I said, well, I'm telling you I'm not paying it. So I think it was 28 days later, it went up to £100. And then I think it was so many days after that, it went up to £150.
Yeah, they're putting the frighteners on you.
Well, that's exactly right. And what happened, I had to then get a magistrate to sign it, and I can't remember now, it was so long ago, to say who I was. So it then goes back down to £50 because I've appealed.
Yeah.
And it was almost a year to the day later, I had to go to the Haymarket, like the other chap said before. I was sat and met a barrister. They didn't even attend London Transport.
Right.
And she looked at their statement and then looked at mine and agreed with what I said, and she let me off.
A year?
A year. And I've actually got the letter that she wrote, and I intend to frame it and put it in my office.
I would think so. Put it in the toilet.
I think it's outrageous. Why can't they, if they can take pictures of our cars going into London, why can't they just send us a bill?
They can, Paul. It's easier than that. You can open an account, you can tell them what your bank details are, or you put your credit card in there, and as soon as your clock going in, they'll automatically take off the minimum amount for you going in that day. It couldn't be more simple, but what the chink in that argument is, it doesn't allow them the opportunity to fine people all the bloomin' time.
Exactly. And this is the way this country's going. I listen to your show in the morning on the way to work, and I cannot believe so many people feel the same way, and we don't do anything about it.
Because that's the nature of British people. We shrug our shoulders and essentially we say, thank you, sir, may I have another? Yeah.
It's just outrageous. We are getting stripped of money. And to be quite honest, you can see why people clone their cars now to go to London.
Yes, perhaps, I wouldn't condone it, but I can absolutely understand why people are doing that, yeah.
It's the time that it takes, because when I got there and she awarded me the case, I said to her, can I find somebody now then?
Yeah.
For all my time that it's taken
it's quite.
Put me through.
Yes.
To come here and sit here now.
Of course not,
at the end of the day, more than what it would have cost if I'd have paid the fine.
I'll tell you what the essence of it is, and you sound like one sounds like a whining child when one says it, but where's the fair in this?
Exactly.
It's not fair.
And the trouble is, I've got friends actually that think I moan a lot, but I keep telling them, while you keep shelling out money, they'll keep coming back for more.
Yes. That's absolutely right. Now, Americans are known, or the sort of, the caricature of Americans is that they complain a lot.
And
now,
you can see why now.
Well, when you go to America and you see what the service is like over there, then you realise that complaining actually makes a difference. But they get treated better there, yeah.
When you just can't afford to go to work. I will not work in London anymore now because it's so inconvenient to park, to get there. It doesn't cost me to get there, it costs my client.
Right.
And at the end of the day, all these charges go to the client.
So you're stuck in the delightful and lovely surroundings of Reading.
Absolutely.
Okay, thanks, Paul.
Lovely.
Cheers, mate. Ta-da.
Cheers.
0845 6060 973. So how am I going to engineer a call to the bloomin' London Transport while I'm on the air? I'm on the air till 10. How am I going to do that then, Raj? You're a genius. He'll figure it out. Kensington. Hello, Ian.
Good evening, Nick.
Yes, Ian.
I just recently returned from holiday, and I went back to work, and I was given a list of cars to go and get some congestion charging for. So I nipped down there without really checking this. One of the cars was exempt, and that got paid for. The car, there was one minor error in the order of the letters for the registration. So paid again for that one to have it rectified, and thought, okay, no problem, I'll give them a ring, try and sort it out.
Yeah.
Oh, well, tough. Tough. You're not getting your money back, even for the car that's not exempt. I said, well, look, hang on, we have cars here that we sometimes pay monthly for, so you obviously have some sort of account with you. Can you not credit that account? Nope, sorry, don't want to know. Your mistake, bye.
Yes, exactly. And that's the attitude, and that's the reason why people are angry. If it was just if they were being reasonable, then fair enough. But it's not reasonable. It's unreasonable, and it's not fair. Yeah,
I was only trying to do the right thing and go along with it and pay the charge. But to get ripped off, I mean, it really is profiteering at its worst.
It's the way it feels, yeah. And I know you do sound. When I'm saying this, it does sound like I'm just whining like a stuck pig, but. If I'm not the only person that gets stuck with this, and it's not because I wanted to avoid paying the charge. I just forgot. That's all.
Exactly. I mean, there really ought to be some legislation passed in this country to stop the government, whoever is in power, ripping everybody off whenever they feel like it.
Well, I think it's on Bojo's desk now, isn't it? He has the power, does Boris Johnson, to change this in our favour. Oh, blimey, wouldn't it be nice if the authorities changed something, just a tiny little thing in our favour? Wouldn't that be great?
Yes,
it would almost make life worth living again, Ian.
Yes, that's right. There's one last thing, and it seems that everything now that isn't compulsory is illegal. And yeah. Thank you. Have a good evening.
Thanks a lot, Ian.
Cheers.
Everything that isn't compulsory is illegal. Welcome to Britain. This is LBC 97.3. It's 7:58.
Caproon is a charming and
Everything is going extremely well.
You bet your life it isn't. 0845 6060 973. That's the phone number. If you want to text, it's 84850. A text. Are you going to put some of those up? Now you know how cab drivers feel. We have cameras watching us all day, every day. What does that mean? What, the same cameras that are watching everybody, or do they have actual different cameras? Do they have cameras inside their cabs? Because they do in Holland. For our protection, it says, on a little sign underneath the cameras, pointing right at your face. It's not for our protection, it's for their protection.
Isn't it just so that they have amusing footage for random TV programs?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, exactly. Well, that's what the CCTV the network is for. Exciting footage for the 10 o'clock news. It doesn't actually stop crime, does it? Thank you very much. An email. You can email nick.abbott@lbc.co.uk. Today, Monday, is the next charging day since Friday, as there is no charge at the weekend. So, if you pay before 10 and pay £10, then you can get away with it. Oh, and the thing of it is, it actually feels like I'm getting away with it. Friday, you were talking about the top 10 reliable car brands. Most of them are Japanese, of course, and somewhere in there was Germany at number 10, last on the list, Porsche. Well, as I know, you like a good moan and laugh at other people's misfortunes. I have a German... Have you checked these? This is quite long. I'll read that. This is quite a long one too. Right, more checking needed. Hang on. Hampstead, hello, John.
Hi, hello, Nick.
Yes, John.
I just want to share a little experience with some of the listeners about the adjudicator down at the Haymarket. The
what?
The adjudicator, I'm sorry, on the congestion charging. The guy who deals with the appeal.
Oh, I see. Right.
I'm sorry about that. Yeah, I just want to share my experience. And I went down there, and as a previous caller said, it's a one-to-one. The guy looks up your case, etc. And in my case, I was in the right. He found in my favour, and he said to me at the end of the interview, "Is there anything I can do for you?" And I said, "No." "Well, thanks very much." "Is there anything you want to ask me?" "No." "Are you sure there's nothing I can do for you?" I said, "Well, thanks very much." And I'm going down the lift, and I thought, oh, heck. What the man is trying to say, but couldn't say in so many words, is that I want to claim my expenses. Because I could have claimed expenses, and I didn't think of it at the time. And I'm offering this advice to any other listeners, that if they are in the right and they know that they're in the right, then you should go down there and claim your expenses. As in fact, the LBC, the GLC, they will take Transport to London. They'll take the last penny out of it. And it's only fair, really, that if you take time off to go there, and you should get your expenses.
Well, absolutely right. You could give them a bill for your expenses, and if they don't pay before 10 o'clock that evening, then you could fine them £50.
Not a bad idea. That's it, Nick, okay?
Thanks, John.
Good luck and thanks for a great show, man.
All right, cheers. Yeah, fine them £50 and see how far you get. Borehamwood, hello, Israel.
Hello, Nick, how you doing?
Very well, thanks.
I think the last caller's correct up to a point, but you're not automatically entitled to claim costs against TfL if you win the appeal.
Yeah.
Which is one of the things that annoys me, because they can charge as much as they want if you fail to respond to their outrageous demands.
Yeah.
Yet, and they can make you go to great expense to go to the Haymarket or write in to make representations, and if you win, you can't make them pay your costs, which is entirely unfair.
Yes, well, there's nothing fair about it. This is what the really annoying thing. If it was fair,
is stacked against the motorist.
Correct.
I'll give you another example. Friday afternoon, I got stuck in traffic in Elephant and Castle, so I strayed into the congestion zone. So dutifully rung up to pay and kept hanging on for ages. So after I made the payment, I commented to the lady who took the course, why have I been waiting so long? Is there a problem? She said, I think there's a problem with the internet. Plus, there's a diversion on Elephant and Castle. I said, well, that's why into the zone. So, oh, in that case, you should be able to claim it back. I said, well, can't you just into your refund? No, you've got to fill in a form, send it in, make representations, and then more than they'll look into your case and refund your money. Which I think is entirely. If they know they know exactly which point you've entered the zone because of all their wonderful cameras and technology. Why can't they make an instant decision that you went into the zone because you followed the diversion and refund the money straight away?
Well, it seems like they have all the technology in the world to in order to punish us, but they have no technology at all when if you want something done in your favour. Can't be done. Oh, we couldn't possibly do that, mate.
Well, the other point I'd like to see them do, I've registered my vehicle and my credit card with TfL, so when I ring up, I'll just give my vehicle registration number, and they look at my details, and they collect the money. Why can't they automatically dock it from my account the second I enter the zone?
Yeah, they can.
They say they can't because of fraud.
Rubbish.
Well, they precise it's absolute load of codswallop. They rely on the innocent motorists for getting a payment. It has happened to me on numerous occasions to fund the whole system and organisation because they can't make enough money by people paying the £8 charge or so. They have to raise revenue from people who forget to pay it and end up having to pay the £50 or £100 fine.
That's the way it seems. Yes, absolutely. All right, thanks for that, Israel. Cheers, mate.
You're welcome. You have a pleasant evening, Nick.
All right, ta-ra. Nobody seems to be having a pleasant evening so far. Everybody is, like, as soon as you mention something like this, people's heads start to explode. And it's not, and it's not isolated either. It touches everybody. Because we're busy. It's London. You forget. Forgetting is against the law. Annoying, isn't it? Hey, you know this... talking about football, which I was a little while ago, you know this, people are upset that Cristiano Ronaldo, whose name, by the way, is always said in full. Have you noticed that? Whenever a commentator is commentating on a match that he's in, they never just say Ronaldo, they always say Cristiano Ronaldo. Cristiano Ronaldo. That's 7 syllables. You'd think that would be a name that they'd want to shorten. For some reason, they always say his full name. Weird. The Sun got a bloke who looks like him to man the phones so people could call in and shout at him. That's the most idiotic thing I've ever heard in my life. First of all, why would you want to shout at... even if it was Ronaldo himself, what's shouting at him going to do? Like complaining, oh, well, you're, for leaving Manchester United? As though that's going to make him want to stay. The second is, why would you shout at somebody who isn't Ronaldo, but who looks like him? And third, you can't even see him. He's on the phone. He could look like you, Raj. That's the most mysterious thing I've ever seen in my life. Footy fans blasted Cristiano Ronaldo in calls to look-alike Jamie Wright. Jamie, 21, manned a Sun hotline so supporters could rant over the star's possible move from Man United to Real Madrid. I'm speechless. What kind of an idiot would ring up a line to shout at somebody who looks like somebody they don't like? By its very nature, they can't see him, so it doesn't matter what he looks like. Sometimes stuff happens and you just have to put your hands up and think, no idea. Actually, it's not the only time that the Sun has taken on Cristiano Ronaldo and was made to feel foolish. Hang on a minute, I'll find it eventually. Oh, here we go. This was in the paper last week. An article. This is just a tiny little piece in the Sun. An article on the 13th of February 2008 reported that Cristiano Ronaldo had been fined £8,000 by Sir Alex Ferguson, or Sir Alex, as he's known, for using his mobile phone while training. We now understand, says the Sun, that our information was incorrect and that Ronaldo did not use his mobile during training, nor was he fined. We are happy to set the record straight and apologise to her. I bet they're not happy. And so everything they said about him was completely false. It was a 180-degree turnaround. but please believe everything else that we print in our paper. Well, they're just making this stuff up. Here is Fulham. Hello, Mark.
Hello, mate.
Yes, Mark.
Yeah, it was just last week, or it might have been the end of the week before. I strayed into the congestion charge.
Yeah.
And I knew that I did it because I saw the cameras and I thought, oh, bugger, I've gone through the congestion zone. And I forgot to pay that evening, so I got walloped with the fine.
Yeah.
But whose fault was it? Well, it was mine, because I went into congestion zone and didn't pay. So I don't understand that people that complain about having forgotten to... Are they annoyed that they've got a poor memory, or are they annoyed that they get charged at all? I don't really understand.
I get really annoyed at people like that who stick up for organisations that are screwing us. I've heard that kind of argument before, and I'm sorry, mate, but it just does not wash. We're trying to do the right thing. We've got a lot on our minds. We forget. It's not like I ran over a pedestrian and forgot to stop. I just entered the congestion zone, which is something I don't normally do, and it just slipped my mind. Because unless you do it every day, you kind of forget, you know. I mean, there's no actual barrier there. You just drive over a Red Sea on the road. In fact, actually, where I drove in, there wasn't a Red Sea on the road. It was just, I think it was a small sign, you are entering. Just slipped my mind, that's all. You know, I was doing a little show in the evening, busy, reading, having a nap, smoking a fag. Oh, I don't smoke fags, but, you know. So it just slipped my mind. And that kind of, I understand what you're saying. I just completely and totally disagree with you. I feel that they're taking advantage. That's the way it feels to me, and I bet that's the way it feels to almost everybody else that's listening to this show. 8:15. LBC Travel with...
Karen Mercer.
Karen Mercer.
The suspense. Well, hello.
Hello. Kilburn, hello, T.
What's up, Nick?
My ire.
Well, what can I say? Mine too. Well, I was living in an area before the congestion charge started, okay? And just like 2 weeks before the congestion charge started, well, actually 2 weeks after the congestion charge started, I moved to another area. Hello?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, after 3 months of living in the area, obviously you have to change your logbook from one area to another, right?
Your logbook.
Obviously.
Oh,
you know, the car logbook.
Oh, I see.
Okay?
Yes, right. Mm-hmm. With the DVLA, yeah.
Yeah, with the DVLA. So the DVLA got kind of like laid back, or they got really late in changing the logbook. So for 3 months I was going in and out the congestion charge without realizing it was the actual... I thought it was like maybe just before the border or something. And then I get all these tickets raining down my home in my new address, and they all piled up to £27,000. I know, man.
Well, hang on a minute. So, how did you not know you were going into the congestion charge?
Okay, you know, on Edgware Road, there was this half that was congestion, and there was a half that wasn't congestion.
Right.
So every time I arrive on Edgware Road, I park in the congestion side. Without knowing, I was thinking it was the not congestion side.
Right. Okay.
Do you know what I mean? It was
kind of.
Really, it was a really small road. It doesn't even say, like, congestion charge or anything.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean?
As soon as you turn east off Edgware Road, you're in it, innit?
Yeah. If you're heading towards Marble Arch, it was east.
Right.
All right. Do you know what I mean?
Well, it's east whether you're heading towards or away from it.
Yeah, man. So, east or west, I slammed in the wall, man.
Yeah.
And when I called them up, I said, can I even at least, like, you know, because the tickets have doubled without me knowing. If I would have known that I had a congestion charge ticket, you know, at least let me pay the actual ticket. I don't mind that. He said, no, it's been doubled. You have to pay the full thing.
So right, okay, but it was doubled because they sent it to the wrong address.
Yeah.
Right. And it
They
wasn't
sent it to the wrong address.
And it wasn't your fault.
Yeah.
It wasn't your fault that they sent it to the wrong address. It's just that the DVLA were too slow in putting the right address on it. Right, I got it.
Exactly. You know what I mean? I mean, I've been suffering from that until, like, maybe last year. You know, since the congestion charge started. I don't even remember what year it was.
Well, there's
You know
no,
what I mean?
there are no excuses, there are no exceptions. You are guilty, and you must, pay the consequences.
Let me tell you something, right? I came, to the UK like 19 years ago.
Well, that'll teach you.
What a difference, man. What a difference.
What, between then and now? Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, man, what a difference, man. What a difference. You can walk on the street free,
Well, that's 10 years of a caring, sharing socialist government for you. Thanks a lot, T. 0845 6060 973. A text. I regularly hire a car for work, and my registration constantly changes. I'm usually very busy and have forgotten to pay a number of times. I end up paying a 60 quid fine, plus £25, plus VAT, admin charge. Is it really? So it's £85 plus VAT. My company, who would normally reimburse me if I pay it, don't in this case. Frustrating, yeah, I'll say. All right, 84850, that's the text. 0845 6060 973. And I knew that if I mentioned this is all that people would actually want to talk about, because there is an underlying. It's like a balloon of anger and frustration. You pop it, and all this bad gas comes out. Sorry, hello, Andrew.
Hi there.
Andrew.
Hiya.
Yes, sir.
Right. Basically, what happened was it was probably about a year ago. Went into the congestion zone about, I don't know, must have been about 2 minutes to 6. And wasn't aware of, where I was, because I'm not really a regular around London.
Yeah.
And realising that I had just gone past the start of the zone, I sort of turned into the first available side road, turned around and came back out again. But obviously that doesn't really discount you from the fine.
No.
I thought, okay, well, I'm not sure what time it is, because my watch is always like a little bit fast, so that I kind of get to places early and so on.
Yep.
And so, not sure whether I had to pay it or not. I phoned up the TfL.
The exact same thing happened to me, and what did they say to you?
Oh, well, that was the thing. He said, sorry, we can't really tell you whether you've been in the zone or not, because
That's right.
it hasn't been logged in the system.
Yeah.
It takes a little while for it to go through.
Have you ever heard such rubbish in all your life?
Oh, exactly. I mean, if they want some money, it's nice and quick. If you want some money, it takes them an age. So anyway, I said to them, that's fine. I don't mind paying the bill if I was in there before 6. If I wasn't, there's no need for me to pay it.
That's right.
So I said, well, if I do pay it, can I claim it back?
Mm-mm.
And he said, no, there's no way of claiming it back. Once you've paid it, that's that.
Yeah.
So I said, okay, well...
As though they actually, they take your money and then they set fire to it. There's no way of getting that money back. It's gone.
No, it's not our money to start of things, is it, really? So I said, well, what do I do now then? He said, well, you've got to pay it. If you don't pay it, you're going to get fined, and then you have to pay the fine.
Yeah.
So I said, okay, well, is there any way that I can just give you my license plate number to prove that it's my car or whatever, and my address of the car that's, of the house it's registered to prove that it's mine, and you tell me whether it has been in the zone or not? He said, no, there's no way of doing that.
Yeah.
So I was forced, so basically they're forcing you to pay for the bill through fear factor, because if
Correct.
you don't, you get stumped. You have to stump up even more money.
It's like we're cosmic twins, Andrew. Exactly the same thing to the letter happened to me. I went in and I didn't know, because I lost my mind just for a moment, because normally I park outside the congestion zone in a completely legal space and wait until 6 o'clock. And I forgot to wait. And I thought, now, if I went in before 6, it was a matter of seconds, literally. But I don't know whether I did or not. And so I did exactly the same thing as you. I called them up, expecting them to be reasonable and to help me. But of course, I must have been drunk at the time, because that was the last thing that was on their minds. Oh, no, we couldn't possibly tell you whether you went in or not. Well, of course you can. That's what the cameras are there for.
Exactly. I mean, I can't imagine it'd be that difficult to set up a sort of online check that you can go on to on the day that you've gone in.
What they said to me, precisely, yes. Easy as pie. There wouldn't be any problem at all in them setting that up. It would be the flick of a switch. They could get some nerd with pens in his top pocket to come and nail that together within about 2 seconds. So what I said to them is, well, when will you be able to tell me if I'd gone into the zone or not? And they said, in 2 days. I said, well, at the point at which you're going to fine me if I actually did go in early. They said, yes, that's right. So they can only tell me whether I owed them any money at the point at which they were going to fine me for owing the money. So I had to pay it whether I went in or not.
Yeah, it's ridiculous, isn't it?
Yes, it's very unhelpful, and whoever actually organised that system, whoever made it as unhelpful and as unconsumer-friendly as that, should be... Oh, I don't know, let's dream up something really unpleasant for them. I'm sure we could start making a list, eh? All right, thanks a lot, Andrew.
Okay, thanks a lot.
Cheers, ta-da. Yes, people, there's a real feeling that that this is not... that they've sort of gone out of their way to make it as difficult and unhelpful as possible. And I can't think of anything else that's quite like that. I mean, the thing with the bins, and you don't leave it out in the wrong time, and all of that, and you've got to put your plastic in the green bag, and all of that stuff. There seems to be a point to that. Because if we weren't cajoled into saving the planet, we wouldn't do it. I wouldn't do it. So the fines there, they're being administered by Jobsworths, who are taking their duties a little too seriously, and they're throwing out fines just because they can, kind of like prefects at school. These powers over us are being given to the wrong people who, you read the stories on a daily basis. They don't seem to be mentally equipped to decide between right and wrong, so they're just spraying fines because it seems to give them, sexual pleasure or whatever the hell it is, kind of kicks they're getting. But at least there's a point to that. I get that. I don't get why it's so bloomin' difficult and so onerous and so helpful to us, the customer, the system with the congestion charge. I don't get it. The Oyster card, on the other hand, is a work of genius. I'd put it up there with Sky Plus. It's so easy, anybody could do it. I need never get a cash out or queue to pay ever again. That it tops up automatically. All you have to do is set it up on the internet. You go through, when you get below £5, it automatically puts another 20 quid on your thing. You don't ever have to think, my weekly pass has just gone out of date. It's Monday morning. I'm going to have to join a queue of 50 people who are all queuing up to get there. None of that. You just hit it on the little thing, any day, at any time, going anywhere, and it automatically takes the right amount. Brilliant! Why can't they do that with the cars? Or rather, why won't they do it? They can. They could do it right now. I bet they've already got it all set up. Just a flick of a switch, that's all it would take. Because only a moron would put in a huge system like that with all the computing power that it's got and not put in the ability to make it easy to pay. Only an idiot would make a system so expensive that doesn't have some way of collecting money easily. So I would bet every penny I earn this year that they can do it. It's just that they're refusing to do it. Come on, Boris. If you sort that out, we'll love you forever. Let's have... Oh, it's a little too late to take that one. A text. You can text on 84850. Nick, why do you drive in London in the day? Well, I had to. Just catch the tube. It's faster and cheaper, and even for people with a bad memory. Well, some tube journeys are so roundabout and complicated and Byzantine in the difficulty of getting from A to B that it's just easier to get in the car. Plus, it's just nicer, you can pick your nose and people don't look at you, and you can scratch yourself in intimate places, and you can listen to LBC on the radio, none of which you can do on the tube. This is LBC 97.3.
Let's get back to it.
Talk about things that you don't want to know. Were you reading about Valerie Singleton today? I suppose you're a bit too young to remember Val, our Val, ain't you, Raj? Who was your, were you a Blue Peter man, or whatever it was on the other side?
I think I've watched Blue Peter a couple of times, yeah.
A couple of times. Because in my it were grand when I were a lad. Because there was Blue Peter on the one side, I think it was Mondays and Thursdays, something like that, only 2 days a week. They've put it on virtually every day of the week now, and they haven't got anything to put in it. Like bring on Westlife again. Oh, it's truth. Even kids don't want to hear that rubbish. Or you could watch Magpie on the other side. Now, Magpie, you see, that was a little bit more rock and roll, was Magpie. And your parents didn't want you to watch it because it had people who looked like hippies with long hair and, I don't know, they looked like they were enjoying themselves. Blue Peter, on the other hand, was very stiff and straight-laced and sticky-back plastic. Prim former Blue Peter presenter Valerie Singleton yesterday admitted she had a fling with co-star Peter Purvis, which is not what we called him at the time. We took his name. We took the name Purvis and made another word out of it, which I shan't be saying on the air. Squeaky Clean Valerie, 71. Blimey, 71. You are looking fantastic. She revealed the pair romped in a hotel after filming in the 1960s. She said, "He was lovely, warm, interesting, and fun. And I feel a shudder going through the bodies of everybody who's round about my age." We don't want to know this. We don't want to think of Blue Peter presenters having sensual interface with each other any more than we want to think of our parents having hot panting, you know? Come on, Val, keep it to yourself, dear. What, like, here's one I laid earlier? Please. Here's a call in Guildford. Hello, John. Oh, John.
Hello?
Yes, John.
Hello? Well, downship. Something of after that last bit.
Quite.
It's a bit of a riddle, isn't it?
What is?
All this congestion charge.
Go on.
Well, I can say it's good enough for 10, but not for 1.
A what? What does that mean?
Well, if you've got 10 cars and you're a company, then you can go into the zone as many times as you like and they charge you.
What, automatically?
You register your number plates.
Right.
You obviously have to go through a credit process. They then vet the cars and make sure they're all linked to your fleet and that they are all insured by the company. And then you don't get fined.
Right, this is what this chap was talking about earlier on. I was a little confused when he was describing it to me, but that's what he was saying. Right, okay, well, if they can do it for them, they can do it for us. See, like I said, they already have the technology, they just won't do it.
Yeah, I think it's 10 is the magic number.
Right.
But you can't group together with a bunch of mates and go, right, there's 10 of us, let's pretend we're a small company, because they check the insurance out. They make sure that the number plates, insurance, and owners' vehicles all go back to the company that's registering.
Right, so somebody has made the decision, right, okay, we'll only help out companies because they would expect that sort of thing, but everybody else can go and take a running jump at themselves. That seems to be the attitude.
Yeah, have you used this new pay by text for your parking meter?
No, I don't believe it works.
It's actually good in some ways, but it's a double-edged sword, like everything that happens to us motorists. Yes, it tells you that your meter is about to run out in 5 minutes, but it also, on the flip side, tells the parking vultures that there is a car about to run out in 5 minutes in the exact location, the street and the bay.
Ah, right, okay, so that's what that's all about.
So there's little guys walking around with computer systems that know exactly the moment that your car's about to run out. They are kind enough to give you a little text that says you've got 5 minutes, and if you want to repay, you just retext. So all that thing about feeding meters, that's all history now.
Right. But there is the flip side that, yeah, okay. They're evil geniuses. All right. Thanks a lot, John.
No worries, Nick. Cheers, mate.
Yeah, and I've seen those signs. I don't believe them. I'd put actual money in an actual slot, and I would see the time click up instead of... I mean, how do you know, you know? How would you know? I want one of those letters that I saw in a car the other day. There was a car parked outside the church, you know, that church that's just had a reworking, St. Martin's in the Field, just by Trafalgar Square there. It's fantastic inside. They've got this sort of wonky window. It's great. You should go in and have a look. It's like being inside a wedding cake. But outside, double yellow lines for as far as the eye can see, and there was a car parked, bold as you like, right on the double yellow lines. In fact, there was two of them, and I thought, that they've still got all their wheels unclamped was a miracle, I thought. And then there was this official-looking letter in the window. And I went by it, and because they didn't have a ticket, either of these cars, I thought, well, Maybe there's some reason why they don't have a ticket. And I took a little look in the window, and it was a letter, just like a typed letter on headed to paper that says, "Please excuse the driver of this vehicle. He can park anywhere he bloomin' well likes by order of the council." How fantastic is that? I want one of those letters.
Was it an official letter?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, they can park on double red lines, double yellow lines. They can park on your face, and you couldn't do anything about it. It's the law. I would like a letter like that.
I'll go and print you off one.
Can you do that? Thanks very much. 0845 6060 973 East Grinstead. Hello, Bob.
Oh, hello, Nick.
Yes, Bob.
This is just a slant on this story, really. And it deviates slightly from the fella before. I have a small company, and we have a couple of vans. They're not in London every day, so we can't register these things or prepay them. So those vans go in and out, and we have people in cars go in and out, all on company business.
Right.
We received an instruction from the Inland Revenue the other week that should we forget to pay the fine, that the company cannot pay those fines, that the individual driver must. Even though that van's on company business, and the person driving it's on company business.
Why would they say that? I mean, what business is it?
Because the law of this country, I believe, says that you can't put the settlement of criminal offences through company books.
Criminal offences, isn't that fantastic?
Fantastic, isn't it?
I'm a criminal.
So we have a major problem now on the occasions that we do forget. Not only have we to pay this £100, but we have to, in some way, square it with the driver.
Yeah. Otherwise, you're all going to jail.
It's absurd.
Thanks, Bob.
I mean, I don't know of another law in this country that penalises.
Yeah, exactly right. Yeah. For actually doing nothing, and penalising for letting your dog go on the pavement. Yes, I get that. Penalising you for, like I said before, putting your bin out in the wrong thing. Well, it's petty, but yes, I get that too. But penalising you for straying 2 miles over the prevailing speed limit. It's irritating. We all do it, but I get it. But this congestion charge thing, I don't get that. That just seems to be like they've seen an opportunity to make a giant amount of money, and they've just given us like that right there, that Raj. They're doing that to us. I'll send you a picture of it if you request. It's irritating, isn't it? That's what it is. It's just it's like, all of these things are kind of like flies buzzing around your face, and you can't get rid of them, and they're just annoying. Am I right? Yes, Nick, you are right. Absolutely correct. Yeah, you go on with your bad self. Shall we talk about other things as well? Or I'm perfectly happy to have people vent their spleen, because I feel absolutely sure that there is all this built-up, pent-up rage. It's going to come out one way or the other. I mean, we, as a people, we have suffered in silence, pretty much, haven't we? The French don't. The French, the shrugging of the shoulders and the pfft, like that, that's reserved for stupid tourists like us who can't read the menu. When they actually feel as though the state has gone too far in France, well, they set fire to cars and, bombard the gendarmerie. Us, on the other hand, well, we just continue to... It's like I said before, it's like, thank you, sir, may I have another? Here is Crawley. Ali.
Hello, Nick.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I just wanted to tell you and tell the others that there is an easy way to know if you want inside the congestion charge, which is if you go to TFL dot blah 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 and try to pay online, the computer actually doesn't lie. It will tell you if they owe you any money or no.
No, I don't think that's correct.
Yeah, it does. It did happen to me.
When I've said this before, when I when I strayed in before, like I was talking to that chap just minutes before the congestion charge stopped.
Yeah.
I did all this. People were calling in and saying, "Oh, well, you call them up."
Maybe because I've got an account with them.
Right. Okay. Well, there you go. It's different for you, account holders.
Okay, but
cheers, mate. We should all be able to open an account. They have. It's not like somebody's sitting in there with a pen and pencil working this stuff out. They've got computers. I bet they have. A text. You can text on 84850. The government know we need our cars to get to work, shop, and enjoy what little leisure time we have, so they sting us every which way, and we have no choice but to pay up. We lost the battle a long time ago. Well, we didn't lose the battle. There never was a battle. We've never actually stood up as one and complained about this. We just said, well, we didn't even say anything. It's not like we meekly agreed to it. We just haven't, the battle hasn't been joined yet. They seem to have declared war on us, and by our inaction, they've won. And every now and again, we do win battles. What was the most recent one? It happened today when it was a council thing. Oh, it was one of these things that the newspapers were spitting blood about, and I wish I'd clipped it out now. Police targets is a good example. I might come to that in a while. But it was one of these things where government department blunders into putting something on the statute books that everybody hates, and they say, oh, well, there's nothing we can do about it now. We've made our decision, and that's that. And then the newspapers get all over it and make them look like fools. And then about 2-3 weeks later, they say, yeah, well, it's just as you were, exactly the opposite to what we've just said. We were thinking of that all along, as though the campaign from the Mail or the Express or whatever it might have been had absolutely no effect, and that they were going to do the right thing anyway. So, complaints do work occasionally. You just have to pick the right battle. And I think this is definitely a battle worth taking all the way to Boris's table. Are you listening, Boris? It's 8:45. Travel news with Karen Mercer.
Well, we had some problems on the tubes with Moorgate's.
Hi, honey. How are you?
I'm super. Thanks for asking. I remember what it is now. It was the end credits on TV programmes. You know, I've expressed my distaste. But James O'Brien, by the way, he was absolutely right on that little clip that we heard of his show. James is back, and he was saying that the Tories, they're basically they're up in the polls at the moment, doing fantastically well, because I think they haven't done anything. They haven't said anything. They haven't done anything. It's like they're presenting like a whitewashed. Well, not even white, is it? Because that white offends some people. It's like Magnolia. Everybody likes Magnolia. It's a Magnolia wall. This is what we stand for. Absolutely nothing. It's like listening to Enya. There's nothing there. That's why they're popular. And I think, well, that's maybe not why they're popular. They're popular because they're not Gordon Brown. But they're going to have to do something a little bit better than that. They're going to have to actually stand for something. They're going to have to tell people what they want to hear. And I'm sure that this is the kind of thing, the irritations of life, just take some of those away from us, or you don't even have to do it. You just have to say you're going to do it. And people will start to feel more positively about you. Because right now, you know, when it comes down to it, not being a party that is not Labour will only get you so far. Because come the poll, people will think, well, you know what? Come to think of it, what have they actually said? If we vote for them, well, we don't have the faintest idea what they'll actually do. We only know who they're not. And as we know, polls can be overturned in a matter of, well, days, if not hours. I mean, you can remember when Gordon Brown took over, his poll rating was through the roof. And a little on down the line, through really, well, I was going to say no fault of his own. I suppose it's slightly his fault, but the situation with the world is not all of his making. His poll rating is through the floor. And the same can happen with the Tories today. They have to actually tell us what they'll do. And if I was the Liberals, I would be racing to get into the gap between the two parties, because neither of them actually seem to be saying anything that people want to hear. The tiny little things. We'll stop fining you for forgetting your congestion charge, or we'll stop fining you for leaving your bin slightly ajar. There was an article that was so long I actually didn't read it. It's on my table to read. But the gist of it was, all over the world, governments are coming to find out that the stick method, the beating your subjects doesn't actually produce great results. The carrot method, you know, just be nice to us. We can be nice back. Wouldn't it be nice to be nice? Wouldn't it?
Yeah, but even if we were nice, then, well, you know what they say, nice guys always finish last, so they'd just take even more advantage of us.
Yeah, but that's not nice. That's not being nice. That's being nasty. Why can't they be nice? Whatever happened to nice?
Even if they were nice, if we think they were after something, we still wouldn't trust them.
Good grief, this is a book, this email. Have you checked this? You have? Okay then, because if I start, I'll still be reading it in 10 minutes. Is it worth it?
I don't know. Probably not.
What does that mean? So you checked
No, I
it, and you
think you
gave me
should
some.
leave it.
You checked it, and you gave me something you don't want me to read on the air. You're doing very well. Here's another one, shorter. The very man who installed CC, the congestion charge, is going to work. You didn't check this one either. All long emails will be read off the air and might be read tomorrow. But you can email me anyway, at nick.abbott@lbc.co.uk. You can text 84850, or you can phone, preferably, 0845 6060 973, because I don't have to read through your phone call to make sure it's suitable to be put on the air. I can just, you know, make decisions as we go along. Yes, end credits on television. That was the thing that I was trying to think about. This was viewers' complaints that actually made a difference. Complaints can make a difference. Viewer power has forced the BBC to reverse one of its most controversial recent policies, the squeezing of end credits into one corner of the screen to make way for trailers. Just over a year ago, the BBC changed the format of end-of-programme title sequences, squeezing the credit information into just the bottom right-hand corner of the screen. The top half of the screen has been used for trailers, with the bottom left-hand corner offering a rundown of programmes about to start on other BBC channels. And if you've got a screen that's less than about 30 inches, then you won't be able to see any of this with a microscope. This new format, which makes the credits practically illegible, has caused an outcry among viewers with more than 2,000 complaints to Points of View. I wouldn't think they'd read any of those complaints. You'd think they'd just chuck them straight in a bin. Oh, viewers' complaints. Points of View, is that still going?
I can't believe anyone reads the end credits.
Well, no, neither do I. But and I have a theory about this. BBC Television's head of marketing and communications said about half, well, they've done a survey, about half the people enjoy the messages that we put into the end credits, i.e., hey, coming up next on BBC One, you know, all those things. Nobody enjoys those, are you kidding? And those people find the information in the credits themselves less relevant, she says. The quarter-screen end credits will be phased out, however, because of these complaints, with credits once again being large enough for viewers to read, because it's very important to know who the best boy grip was, and the gaffer's girlfriend, and the caterer, and all that nonsense that nobody cares about. You see, they were complaining about the wrong thing, or rather, the BBC thought that they were complaining about the wrong thing. What people don't like, I'm absolutely convinced, because it drives me up the bloomin' wall, is the ruination of the end of programmes. Now, I know I've said this before, but it's worth repeating, because eventually somebody's going to listen. If only there was a choice. If only you could choose, like, say a James Bond movie was on ITV and the BBC and a channel which didn't screw with the end of the programme. You'd watch the channel that didn't screw with the end of the programme, right? But unfortunately, every single channel does that now. And it's getting worse. James Bond is a bad example. Say, I don't know, name me some dreary chick flick where people talk about their emotions.
Pride and Prejudice?
Yeah, all right. Do people die at the end of... I've got no idea. Anyway, some movie where people die at the end. Where they like Love Story, for instance. Blimey, I can't believe I just came up with that. Love Story. Like Love Story. Right, if you're off your mind, you'll be sitting there for 2 hours watching these people slowly dying in front of you, and at the end you'll be, blubbing your face off. Very, very upset. And then that love story music comes on at the end of the movie, and you're sitting there aghast, trying to, collect yourself, enjoying that weepy moment, moment, because you've just put yourself through 2 hours of this, piece of art, whatever you want to describe it, that they spent £100 million and 6 months of 2,000 people's lives putting together for you. Specially crafted to wrench that emotion out of you at the end, and you're sitting there, a shell, a husk. You feel like you've been through the ringer at the end of the movie, and you want the 5 minutes as the music plays at the end in order to fully enjoy the depths of your despair. But you can't, because the second the credits start, you got some bloke, sounds like he's trying to audition to be on Radio 1. Hey, coming up next on the BBC, like that. Oh, it makes me want to pick my TV up and throw it out the window. I hate those people. There can't be a single person in this country who actually enjoys being shouted at before the programme's ended. And like I said, it's getting worse. The creep of those annoying stripes with coming up next are appearing in the programmes themselves. They don't even wait till the show's finished before telling you what's on next. And it could be a very emotional thing. I mean, I don't watch Coronation Street or any of these things, but I know they do misery for a living. And so, some market traders just bruised his peaches or whatever it might be. People are shouting at each other, and Granny's just dropped dead from shock. And you've got some dope screaming and shouting at you that Noel's blooming house party is on afterwards, or whatever it might be. Thereby ruining the last 30 minutes, hour, 2 hours, whatever it is you've just invested in their channel. A pox on them. So I don't believe that viewers were complaining because they couldn't read the credits, because who wants to sit there and read those? It's not remotely interesting who the editor's personal assistant is. People are complaining because they're ruining programmes by shouting at you. I mean, if you went to the cinema and you paid 150 quid a ticket, whatever it is these days, and as the closing credits came up, somebody bounded on stage and started shouting at you, the hot dogs are still available in the foyer, well, you'd be irritated, right? It's the same thing on television. Will you please stop doing it? LBC 97.3.
If you drive a lorry...
LBC 97.3.
It's a good idea to get someone else's opinion.
You're not right. Belsize Park. Hello, Judy. Judy.
Hello.
Judy.
It's just picking up on something that's just been on your news and has obviously been in the news hugely recently about Mugabe. Has it occurred to anybody, maybe, to withdraw the honorary knighthood we gave him?
Did we?
Yeah.
What did we do that for?
Ask
we must have been really drunk at the time, Judy.
Well, ask the people who gave it. I didn't give it to him.
Right.
But somebody did. He's got, I think it's called a KCB, which is an honorary knighthood. I don't know. Everybody's screaming and shouting about him. And William Hague was on about, the appalling, all these dreadful things and everything that he's doing. But he has still got an honorary knighthood, which I think we gave it in the early 90s. Is it just me, or has anyone else thought maybe he shouldn't still have it?
Well, almost certainly not you, not just you, Judy, no. I can't believe that someone hasn't, Okay, so invading the country is perhaps not an option at the moment, because we can barely put our troops in vehicles that have got armour stronger than tinfoil in the two wars that we're fighting at present.
Right.
So,
but am I wrong? Is not an honorary knighthood something you confer on somebody because it's an honour, because we think highly of them?
Yeah, sounds right.
Right, and he has still got it.
Yes.
And we do have the power to withdraw it. I mean, obviously, Lester Piggott is a worse criminal, because we removed his OBE. So I suppose I've got my priorities wrong.
Yeah, you have,
Lester Pigott is a worse criminal. He was relieved of his OBE because of his naughty goings-on. But apparently he's worse. What he did was much worse than Mugabe's doing, yes?
Well, well, just add it to the mysteries of life.
Oh, okay.
Thanks, Judy.
Thank you.
Yes, well, I mean... Oh, do we really want to get into this? I mean, it can't be beyond the wit of the international community just to send someone in with one of these long-range sniper rifles and just take the man out. I mean, there'd hardly be a person on the planet that wouldn't do a little jig of joy, right? Here is Palmer's Green. Hello, John.
Hi.
John.
Yes, credits at the end of films.
Yes.
I can't stand them. I mean, I love it when, like, I'm a Law and Order fan, and at the end of Law and Order, you know, a man comes on high, and it gives you a quick synopsis of the next Law and Order episode coming up. And I think it's great.
You like that?
Yes.
You like knowing all the tricks and turns of something before you've actually seen the programme?
Yes, it's just a quick synopsis, like he may say, like, a double murder has left the police baffled.
But why would you want to know that before you've actually seen the programme? Because those things are put in as a surprise. You're supposed to find out as you go along, not be told before you've seen it.
No, but I'm saying, who doesn't know about a programme before it starts? Everyone's got a brief idea. They can't...
No, they don't. I never know what's going to happen in a programme before I see it, deliberately, because I know that whoever does the synopsis will spoil all the surprises.
You know what I wish would happen? You know, like in some of them comedy sketches, when you see the credits going really fast. That's what I want to happen. I'm like, oh, God, switch over to the...
Yeah, I'm not interested in credits. No one is. It's the mood that the programme finishes you on that's being ruined. Not the actual credits, it's the music and whatever screen that they're showing the credits over that's being ruined. It's the mood of the end of the show that's ruined.
I don't, personally myself...
Well, that makes you wrong then, doesn't it?
Wrong. It just makes me somebody who just wants to get as much as I can out of the television.
No, that's wrong, because you're not getting as much out of it, because people who make programmes like Law and Order, I mean, it must cost millions and millions of pounds to make each of those programmes, and they're all there, and every 10-minute segment has got some sort of surprise in it, or a revelation, or something like that, and if you know what's going to happen before you see it happen... Well, then they've just ruined. They might as well not have bothered.
I think to me, it just intensifies my excitement about the next episode.
Well, that's just a daft thing to say. And right at the end, John Bambi's mother gets shot. There you are. I've spoilt it for you.
It's a double murder to investigate, and they don't actually tell you who, or what, or where, or why. But you know, kind of like, and it's brilliant. That's me.
No, wrong. You couldn't be more wrong. You're totally wrong, John. But thanks for calling anyway. 0845 6060 973. Utterly incorrect. Why would you read a book, say, like a whodunit, if they told you who done it before you read it? Just like, oh, well, we might as well not bother then. Notting Hill, Tony.
Hi. Brief Encounter, which is the ultimate weepy for us oldies.
Right.
I don't know how old you are, but I'm assuming you've seen the film, and it's a very touching film, I think.
No, certainly not. It's a chick flick.
And at the end of it on Channel 4, they couldn't wait to scream at us that Countdown was coming on next, you know, and it's so disrespectful to people who are
exactly right.
It.
It's disrespectful to your customers.
Yeah, and of course there is a reason. Of course there is a reason for everything. That they're just anxious to hang on to you, but I don't think that's the way to do it, you know.
No, because if there was an actual choice, if the same programme was available on two channels, one like Channel 4 or BBC or any of them that do shout at you at the end of a programme, and one that didn't, that was actually respectful, you'd watch the one that was treating you like a real human being, right?
Well, I think the lady who's just been on is a few weeks out of date because there's been quite a fuss about Mugabe's knighthood. And an honorary means that obviously he's not English, that's why, like, you know, Bob Geldof and so on.
Yeah.
But there was a big debate on it on TV not long ago. Lord Hurd, Douglas Hurd was a member of the government, a minister, I think he was the foreign secretary, when they awarded Mugabe this, and he couldn't recall it. He couldn't recall it having happened at all. He said, really, you know, like some absent-minded professor.
Yes. But really, to remove his honorary knighthood, I mean, that would be just a laughably pathetic thing to do, wouldn't it?
He would be absolutely devastated. Can you imagine?
Well, I wouldn't think he'd even, if he would even wipe the blood off his hands to pick up the paper to read about it.
Well, I think it would be buried. I mean, it's a waste gesture to begin with, really, and a wasted gesture to remove it.
It would make us seem even more impotent than we actually are.
Yeah. That's right.
OK, thanks, Tony.
OK.
0845 6060 973. You can text on 84850. You can email nick.abbott@lbc.co.uk. A text. Excuse me. Most of the Labour Party were communists at university and still are. They just don't mention it anymore. What's that got to do with... Thanks for the text, but what's that got to do with anything that we were talking about? Roger's shrugging his shoulders. Another, why do you comment on computer systems without knowing how they work? Billing systems are notoriously hard to design and build. What rubbish. Nonsense. I'm not financially affected by the congestion charge, but very angry with the sheer disparity. It seems they fine you before they will prove you were there. I'm fully on board with the sentiment. I'm not sure about the detail. Another one. What about Rambo? People died in that, and I don't remember crying. Yeah, but they deserved it. Not Notting Hill Gate again, I've been there. Poplar, Terry.
Oh, good evening.
Yes, Terry.
Yeah, talking about programmes and that, what really makes me mad is, I don't know if you ever heard of True Movies on the Skybox.
True Movies?
Yeah, True Movies it is.
Oh.
It's never Sky-Fi.
Yes, yeah.
What really makes me mad is, you know, when you have a break, before the adverts have about at least 4 minutes of trailers, right? Then they have the adverts. Then when the adverts are finished, you have another 4 minutes of trailers, the same trailers you've seen before, and that really makes me mad. I do it every time.
Terry, don't you have a fast forward button?
Pardon?
Haven't you got fast forward?
No, I just got the ordinary standard Skybox. I haven't got the plus.
Oh, right.
Yeah. And you know, when you keep seeing these trailers, by the time they come on, you don't want to watch them because you're sick of it, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, you know, 4 minutes of trailers, then 4 minutes of adverts, then another 4 minutes of trailers.
See, this is... Yeah, absolutely. This, and the chap that I was talking to before, we were discussing that it's actually disrespectful to their customers, and if we had a choice, we'd leave. And thinking about it, I don't go to the cinema anymore, and one of the reasons is because they do that. You sit down, and then they show you a trailer for forthcoming attractions that you want to see, and they will show you every single surprise and plot point in the entire movie, then ruining the whole thing for you.
Yeah. You said you got a Sky Plus?
Yes.
The reason I haven't got it, I don't know if it's true or not, perhaps you could answer me on this. You know, sometimes on the films, movies, you've got to press red, like the red dot on the top, right? And you have to watch it to press it back up to get rid of that red dot.
Yeah.
If you're recording it, does it still have that red dot, or when you play it back, can you press it back up still and get rid of that red dot?
Well, press the red button now for further exciting interactive programming. Yeah. That. Yeah, I think that it doesn't appear on recorded programs.
Oh, it doesn't appear on recorded programs?
I don't think so. But you can always just press the backup thing and get rid of it, right?
Yeah. If you're watching it live, but not. Yeah. What about recorded?
Right. Well, that's an interesting question, and I can't say definitively, but I haven't ever noticed it.
And what about when you got?
And that kind of thing would annoy me, so I would have noticed it.
And what about if you got to press a pin button? Because sometimes they show movies in the mornings, don't they? And they're 18 rating.
Well, you just have to remember your pin.
Yeah, but what happens if you're recording it?
Well, you just press your pin.
When it plays back.
Yeah, and it'll play it back for you. Oh, they've thought of everything, Terry.
Oh, okay, and I might get one in.
There you go. Cheers, mate.
Thank you, goodbye.
Ta-ra. 0845. Other personal video recorders are available, by the way. Everyone should get one, and then you need never watch another television advert again. I still haven't seen the gorilla playing the drums yet, and people are going on and on and on about that. I still haven't seen it, because I just don't watch adverts. I've watched them all at 30 times normal speed, and they just disappear. Which is, another reason that nobody should spend money on television advertising, because people ain't watching it anymore. Hands up anybody who's watched a TV advert, who's got one of these PVR recorders, and more and more people are getting them. Once you've got one of those things, you never watch another television commercial again. So instead of wasting your money on TV commercials that people don't watch, spend it with us. 0845 6060 973, it's 916. LBC Travel with Karen Mercer.
Works are planned for the M4.
Thank you for holding. Your call's important to us.
Plasto, hello, Jake.
Hello?
Yes, Jake.
Hi, Nick, I wanted to ask if you've seen, say, any movies that, for example, where you wanted the bad guy to fail miserably.
When I wanted the bad guy to fail?
Not the bad guy, the good guy, sorry.
What, films in which you're rooting for the bad guy?
Yeah, like, for example, anytime I watch, let's say, Jean-Claude Van Damme movies, yeah, I always want Seven Bells to be kicked out of him.
Out of Jean-Claude Van Damme, yeah. I understand that.
Well, usually, there's a certain outline with movies like American movies or British movies where, let's say, the good guy gets beaten a little bit, then he drinks something like banana juice, and then beats the bad guy, and then he goes off with a woman or something like that.
Yeah, I could do with a couple of pints of banana juice right now, as a matter of fact.
I know. But I am sure there are some movies where, like, the good guy has been killed before. I can't say any off the top of my head, though.
Well, it depends. See, if you're rooting for the bad guy, then almost by definition, the bad guy is actually the good guy. He's just doing bad things.
Yeah,
Because, like in Blue Velvet, for instance, I'm always rooting for Dennis Hopper. He's crazy Frank.
Yeah.
But he's never going to win. But he's the character that you enjoy watching the most because he's the most exciting on screen. In that film, No Country for Old Men, Javier Bardem was a brilliant bad guy, one of the best bad guys you've ever seen, and you enjoy watching him on the screen, but you don't actually want him to get away with it.
Yeah, but usually, when you root for the bad guys, usually in, let's say, bank robberies, right?
Yes, that's right. Yeah,
so
capers.
You want the people to get away with the
Yes,
money.
quite right. Criminals, yeah.
Yeah.
But they're not the bad guys, though. You see, they are the good guys. Like there's a tremendous film which is often dragged out for afternoons called How to Steal a Diamond in 4 Uneasy Lessons, something like that.
Because there's this movie I recently watched.
Not
Hellboy.
remotely interested in anything I'm saying. Go ahead, Jake.
You know Hellboy, right?
No.
Okay, it's about this guy who. It's a superhero movie.
Well, don't tell us.
Okay, yeah. Well, the guy, I find the good guy, he's a good guy, right? I find him too cocky, right?
Well, I'll keep that in mind.
I usually want him to get killed off or something like that, but that will never happen. You get me?
No matter how many times you see that film, that'll never happen. No.
That will never happen. Anyways.
All right, thanks very much, Jake. Bye. Cheers, mate. Ta-da. Jean-Claude Van Damme films. Is he joking? I've never seen one of those in my life. You look like you'd be a fan, Raj.
No, but I saw a Steven Seagal movie once.
See, like I said.
That was kind of ridiculous.
Into the Chop Socky movie?
It was one with DMX, the rapper. And you know how in The Simpsons they
I thought they were bikes.
Sorry?
Aren't they bicycles?
No,
DMX. Oh, right.
And you know how in, cartoons they lampoon a car hitting, just a cone or something and exploding?
Yeah.
That actually happens in the movie. It hits nothing in particular and then just explodes.
Well, American cars are very badly made. They carry the petrol in the bumpers. It's a design flaw. Hampstead. Hello, Leon.
Hello there.
Leon.
Yes, President Mugabe. I just think that we're sort of sticking on Nebin and sort of saying everything, but you don't hear the Russians or the Chinese having a go. You don't hear any other European countries making a fuss. And I just think that it's okay sending Miliband over to sort of say something, but really it's not going to do anything. You know?
Well, I don't think anybody on the face of the planet is looking too well in relation to Zimbabwe. No.
Yes.
No one has seems to be doing the right thing.
Well, what can we do? I just think it sort of reflects what happened with Saddam Hussein. I think that England say something, and when we managed to do it, everybody else disagreed with it. So we should just not say anything because we're the only country that's saying anything on record. And
well, that's not entirely true. I mean, NATO have shown their displeasure, but they can't. But they refuse to actually do anything, presumably because there's no oil there.
Absolutely, that's the whole answer for it. And talking about oil, I was in the Tate Modern today, and I was looking around in this vast waste of space. You see that great big vast waste of space?
Well,
There's
the turbine hall.
Nothing into it.
The turbine hall, yeah.
There's nothing in it whatsoever, not even a crack anymore. And I went to go.
How did they do that, by the way? Did anybody go and see the giant crack that went from one end of that enormous space to the other? It was.
Yeah.
I'm almost mystified how they did that.
Well, it's utterly pointless for a start. I mean,
I disagree. The more I looked at it, the more I liked it. It looked as though the building was being pulled apart on a fault line, as though it was subject to earth tremors that had actually rent the building asunder, and a crack was actually had divided the building in half. And the more I looked at it, actually, I thought that was pretty good.
But when I asked the woman at the reception, I said, well, how much does this whole place cost to run a year? About 13 million. So,
you asked the woman on reception?
I was absolutely far. No, she actually looked up for me. It's about 13 million pounds. Yeah. And now, if we're sending taxpayers' money...
No, whoa. The taxpayers aren't... I would imagine that taxpayers are not having to pay £13 million a year.
It's government money.
No, I would imagine that they're actually making money there.
How do they make money? They don't charge to enter.
They absolutely...
They have those little donation box where you stand and have a look how many
people... Nelly, they do charge to enter on
some of the...
temporary exhibitions, which are almost...
Yes,
I'm going to have to fade them out. Which are almost always showing. Silence. They do. And they're very expensive. It's like £10, £12, whatever it is, to go and sit at Cy Twombly there at the minute, if you like scratching. I never got it myself. And Gary Hume, I think, are the pay-for exhibitions there at the moment. But the Tate is, I believe, the most popular modern art museum for footfall in the world. I think it's even bigger than the Museum MoMA, Museum of Modern Art in New York. It's massively popular. So I would very much doubt that the public are paying for the upkeep of the Tate Modern. And even if we are, you know what? It's worth it. If only they had a little more on the walls instead of... I did actually walk into one of the galleries once. It's not there anymore. But there was a shopping trolley in the middle of an otherwise empty room. And that was it. It looked like somebody just left it there after a night on the tiles. But that was the art piece, a shopping trolley. Completely unworked in any way. It's just left there in the middle of the room. That was it. Which is one worse than Warhol's Brillo boxes, which change wherever you see them. Because part of the art is they'll take them, gallery workers will take the boxes off the back of a lorry and be instructed to put them in the gallery, and however they initially put them, that's how it's supposed to be. Brilliant. Well, isn't Boris putting the Anthony Gormley idea on the fourth plinth in Trafalgar Square, which is no idea at all. It will remain empty, but just have people standing up and doing their thing for an hour. For a year. I could have come up with that. That's the silliest thing I've ever heard in my life. You don't need Anthony Gormley. You could just leave the plinth empty. People would do that anyway. Like Speaker's Corner for drunks.
Maybe you should do a show from there.
Yeah, I'll absolutely do that, yeah, straight away. So, is that an answer to your question, Leon? Are we still talking?
Not particularly.
No, OK, good. Another satisfied customer. 0845 6060 973. You can text 84850. Oh, for all that time, when I went back to him, he was still talking. Oh. A text. You need to see the film Wanted. Are you actually going through these texts as they're coming up? No, I don't. What's that, then? Another one. I live in the CC zone. Why should I pay? I live here, I lived here, presumably, before it started. We used to pay £2.50, now it's £4 a week. £4 luxury! We residents don't have the option of paying daily, that's 80p a day, but Ken said, no, he does not listen to the people. Come on, Boris, change the system, or you'll be out in one term. Yes, this is a tiny little thing that would make a massive difference to his profile. If I were him, I would tackle that straight away, because it's an irritant. It is like a fly buzzing in people's faces. We don't like it, we think it's unfair, and we want somebody to kiss us and make it better. Hands up who wants Boris to kiss them and make it better. Anyone?
No.
Well, then just fix it then. Another one. If only we could get the panel of Question Time to listen to LBC, we might be getting somewhere. You can text on 84850 and phone me on 0845 6060 973. Amongst the things I'd like to talk about, the shyness spray, which sounds like a fantastic idea. Also, police targets were in the news today, and this is another one of those issues on which people were upset. The press took it upon themselves to make our displeasure known, and we changed government policy. Well, not yet, but we will. And it's all down to people power. Actually, it's all down to the Mail and the Telegraph and the Sun. But by proxy, it's us. LBC 97.3, it's 9:30. Here's Clivey.
Good evening.
Actually, you can't shorten Clive.
No, you can't. No. No. I did try for a while. There was a phase of radio presenters all putting E on the end of their name. You know,
E
like Nicky or Abbotty or whatever. It was like to be kind of friendly and man of the people and all that. So we went through a couple of programs just with everybody calling in saying, "Hey, Clivey." And
it's an Australianism.
Yeah, it didn't really catch on.
No.
But yeah, I think that's one of the reasons I was called Clive, and there can't be many good reasons why I was called Clive, but one of them was it's a name that you can't shorten.
Right.
Mm.
Yes. Well, as a parent, you should really think these things through.
Yeah. Yeah. And
come to think of it, Nicholas Abbot.
Yeah.
Well, that sounds like an accident in the church.
It does, doesn't it? Yeah, yeah. And you've got to be careful with the surname Bull as well.
Well, that's right.
You know, Terry, Eddie. there's a few once you start going through it. So Clive was probably one of the least worst options. So I'm going to be here at 10.
Are you?
Picking up your baton, as it were.
Right.
Yes.
I'll leave it on the floor.
And what are we going to talk about tonight?
I don't know, Clive.
Well, maybe Wimbledon. I talked a little bit about Wimbledon last night.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Glory! Yeah,
well, the excitement never starts.
Not the tennis. I think it is. I think it's overhyped. And I think a load of people pretend to like tennis just for those 2 weeks, and then they suddenly don't like it anymore.
You're old enough to remember when tennis was interesting, when Jimmy Connors and McEnroe were shouting at each other over the net. It's not anymore. Well, I can't really say that because I don't watch it anymore. But it might be interesting, is it? I doubt it.
No, it rarely is now, especially the men's tennis. It's
I think the reason is exactly. The reason that McEnroe and Connors' era was interesting was because they played with bats made of wood.
Yeah, yeah.
And so they couldn't hit the ball very fast. Now they got these nuclear-powered bats, and so it's just serve. They win. Serve, they win. Serve, they win. Nobody ever strikes the ball back over the net anymore.
I think the improvement in the equipment has actually ruined it. And not just at Wimbledon level, but, you know, your local tennis club as well. You see people having games where they just smash the ball and then there's no kind of rallies and things, which is the entertaining bit of it.
Yeah, Gran, when we were lads.
Oh, yes, a nice wooden tennis racket. You can't beat it.
And you used to you have to keep it in a, like a screw-down thing to make sure it didn't warp.
Yes, I had a badminton racket like that as well.
Badders?
Yeah, made out of wood.
How middle class is that?
Well, it was the only game that I could play, really. But,
well, it's like tennis,
but gentle.
Yeah, it's like tennis, but slower.
Actually, that's one thing I don't like about Wimbledon, though. It is so snobby, don't you find?
Have you been to Wimbledon?
Yeah.
It's a very long time since I went there, but I sat in debenture holders' seats, where the posh people sit.
Oh, right.
And there's not a noise from those people. It's like they're unconscious. All of the noise that you hear on TV is over where the poor people sit, the people who've queued out in the rain to get in, people who actually like tennis, all the people who because I think they own the seats, don't they? In much the same way that people own
like
seats in the Albert Hall.
Yeah.
Those people aren't remotely interested in tennis. They just show up because it's it's part of the season. So most of the crowd, they're either not there or they're just not that bothered. It's the poor people who stand up overnight to get in, who are interested and also, almost by definition, crazy.
So we might talk a little bit about Wimbledon.
You're going to talk about the fashions, innit?
And the fashion particularly, yes, and whether they should wear shorts or skirts.
Can you...
the women, that is.
Honestly, though, do you care?
Well, I think it's ridiculous that they do care. That's why I'm saying it's a bit snobby.
Well, it was the front page of the Telegraph and the Mail today. Some woman who's going to wear shorts, not a skirt.
Well, exactly. But then, if people really don't care, then why are Wimbledon being so silly about it and having these silly rules and saying, well, you've got to wear white and no colour and all that kind of stuff?
Silly people.
Yes, yeah. So, also...
And again.
The these internet domain names, this is the most emailed story, by the way, on the websites at the moment. They're all getting excited in the internet world about this. Internet domains like .co.uk and all that, it's about to be all shaken up.
Is it?
You're going to have almost anything you want now.
Really?
Yeah.
Because people were buying little islands. I think there's an island called, I don't know, something TV.
So you can have .tv. Yeah, and I think they've just decided they're being too fussy about it all, and if you want nickabbott.tv or whatever, you can have it now.
nickabbott.hornbag.org.
Yeah, exactly. Without actually having to live on that island.
On the island of Hornbag,
exactly. So
I hate that place. I'm never going back.
No, don't. Whatever you do, no. Yes, so there we are.
Very good.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
I'll see you later.
Oh, don't go. There he is, Clive Bull. Oh, yeah, yes, you do. Clive Bull coming up after the new news at 10 o'clock. And the number is 0845 6060 973. You can text 84850. Do we have texts? I mean, I know I see a lot of them, but are there any that you've actually checked for me? That's a big no. You're doing very well.
There's no more. I'll get some more.
Yes, there are. I can see them from here. Dear Nick, I'm an ex-copper. All I have to say is that I know the cheapest way to run a car. I have seen this happen, and nobody gives a damn, so I'm sharing this with you. Ooh, the word from the inside. This is 4 parts. Part 1, steal a car. He's an ex-copper. Steal a car. There's no point going for an old banger. Get something decent. Righto. Step 2, steal the number plates of an identical car in model, make and colour. 3, do the obvious. 4, I guarantee you will never be stopped by the police as long as you observe traffic regulations. A, your car will appear on PNC as taxed. What's PNC? Police National Chocolate. Police National Chocolate. It will appear as taxed, tested and insured, in case there are those VOSA cameras about. VOSA. Very often sugary almonds. The very often sugary almonds cameras. B, swap the plates back over for the originals when you want to fill up with petrol. Wear a fake moustache unless you are a woman. Then use a wig. Swap the plates back over for the originals when you want to fill up with petrol. Why would you do that? Because your number plate would be caught on the cameras in the garage. No, I don't get it. C, you need never pay MOTs, insurance tax or maintenance. Just steal another when the service indicator lights up. Be sure to torch the old car so there's no forensic evidence. If you get caught, you'll get arrested and detained for a couple of hours at most. You'll get bailed, and you'll get off because you hired the best lawyers that money can buy since you saved so much on motoring. Oh yes, and you won't have to pay the congestion charge. Then you can laugh at everybody else who obeys the law and is criminalised by this horrible government. Well, I'll do that as soon as the show finishes. Thanks, mate. Another one. This very man who installed CC is... Oh, I almost read that before. He's going to work for this radio station. That's right. I think people should call him and ask him about this brilliant scheme. Like, what was his reaction when told about paying on the same day and other stuff? Yes. Well, you'll have the opportunity to put it to the man himself. It's going to be starting on Monday, right? The number 0845 6060 973. Text 84850. A text. There are worse regimes than Mugabe, Darfur, Congo, Somalia, Ethiopia, Surrey. In all these countries, more people die and there is less democracy. In Britain, more people die in custody than Zimbabwe. In Britain, more people die in custody than in Zimbabwe. What? Another one. I meant that by not telling us if we've strayed into the congestion charge, if charge not paid immediately, the fine is issued before any crime is actually... Can you please edit these? Is that asking too much? All famous Clives are bald. Is Clive Bull bald? Shyness spray. What a great idea this is. People will be queuing around the block. A love drug, produced naturally during sex and childbirth, could offer hope to millions of people blighted by shyness. Trials have found that oxytocin, a hormone produced in the brain, which promotes romantic feelings and helps mothers bond with newborn babies, can reduce anxiety and ease phobias. Researchers say it may offer a safe alternative to alcohol as a means of beating shyness. Hands up who uses alcohol to beat shyness. Oh, come off it. Yes, you do. Scientists in the US, Europe and Australia are racing to develop commercial forms, including a nasal spray. Fantastic. They believe that the hormone could also treat a range of disorders, including autism and depression. It gets better. 60% of Britons say they suffered from shyness, and 1 in 10 say that it adversely impacts their daily life. What, you mean they're not getting any? Paul Zak, a professor of neuroscience at California's Claremont Graduate University, says, tests have shown that oxytocin reduces anxiety levels and facilitates social contact. It's a very safe product that does not have any side effects and is not addictive. Well, it doesn't get any better than that, right? Well, I'm on about 3 pints of love drug a day now, man, but I can handle it. I'm just feeling a bit confident at the moment, that's all. A nasal spray to make you feel confident. Whoever invents that and sticks it in the shops they'll have more money than Bill Gates. That has no side effects.
Isn't it just going to end up like the Nutty Professor?
How do you mean?
Because in the Nutty Professor, he was shy and retiring. If you watch the original one with Jerry Lee,
yeah,
and he's a shy and retiring guy, awkward, and then he comes out and he's a big cad and he's confident.
Yeah, wouldn't you like to be a confident cad than a shy retiring guy who's not getting any? That's a big fat yes. Right? Yeah. See, like I said, he's going to have more money than God. It's 9:44. LBC Travel with Karen Mercer.
The M4 now closed as you head out of town from...
Come on, we're running late!
Yes, we are. It's 0845 6060 973. I think we finally, we pricked the balloon of frustration, and all the gases seem to have gone out. People have expressed themselves, and it's almost as though they're hanging limp afterwards. They're totally spent. And so we haven't got any more people who want to shout about the congestion charge anymore. I feel like we've done that, so we can move on. What would you steal?
Can it be anything in the world?
Anything in the world, yeah.
There's so many things you might want.
Yeah. Would you steal, for instance, strawberries? if you were picking them. I'm surprised that these things still exist. Pick your own strawberries. We used to do it as a kid. We used to come back with lorry loads of strawberries that used to get made into yummy, scrummy jam. But while you were picking them, did you eat one or two?
Maybe just to test the freshness.
Yeah, just checking the quality. Well, this was this appeared last week. I didn't mention this on Friday, but I'll do it now. Pick your own strawberry farms are under a threat. They're actually going out of business because customers eat more than they pay for. So, in other words, they're going in hungry, and they're eating, as they go along, more strawberries than they're actually putting in the basket to take and pay for. Farmers say customers spend hours in the fields, but asked to pay for just a handful of fruit. Eating had always been part of the fun, but growers said overindulgence was now costing them up to £10,000 per season. Some owners have planted fruits such as red currant and black currant that don't attract the same level of, quotes, testing. Oh, did you hear that? That's awful. Sorry about that. I think tea is doing it to me. Around about now, my stomach starts to complain like mad. Maybe I should switch to coffee. What do you think? Anything to stop it making that noise. Mark Spate, who owns Hacker's Fruit Farm in Cambridgeshire, said, One woman came up to the counter covered in juice, but handed over a punnet with 4 strawberries in it. That's just ridiculous. Jane Wilmot, 51, the owner of Soft Fruit Farm in Northants, said, It's as if the public read something for nothing instead of pick your own. It's like nick your own. Kate Gooding of another farm said, It's as though people don't know how to behave at a pick-your-own farm anymore. I think it's more than that. People just don't know how to behave anymore. It's as though if you can get away with it, it's fine. It's like there's nothing morally wrong with it if you can get away with it. Which is why I asked you what would you nick. And I think in a rather telling reflection of yourself, Raj, you scoured the world for things to steal. Didn't you? The response, well, nothing, I wouldn't steal anything, wouldn't even occur to you. Isn't that shocking? It's like, where do I even start, you said. How about music? Hands up anyone who has not stolen music, who's under the age of 40. No one. Put your hand down. Liar. Well, here's that story. Worldwide music sales have tumbled to their lowest level since 1985, the year that Jennifer Rush topped the singles charts with The Power of Love, and Dire Straits released Money for Nothing. Blimey, 1985. Where does the time go, eh? Album sales down 11% year on year. The main cause of the decline? You lot nicking stuff. Essentially. Collapsing CD sales hurt by illegal copying, which is not being offset by growth in download sales. Now, would you walk into HMV, pick up other CD shops are available, pick up a CD and put it in your jacket pocket and waltz out again? Of course not. He's nodding. No, you wouldn't. You would not. Very few people would. Everybody steals music from the internet. There can't be a single person in this country with access to a computer that hasn't nicked some form of copyright material. Except for me. The IFPI, the International Federation for Police Informants, wants internet providers to reveal details of their customers who illegally share music and possibly cut off any subscriber who breaches copyright 3 times. 3 strikes and you're out. The providers should engage constructively before the tools of legislation or litigation were involved, requiring them to act. So IFPI, what is that then? It's the I don't know, some government industry body. I don't know what they are. They're talking to your internet provider who is going to spy on you. Check your downloads and see if it's any copyrighted material. They'll let you do it twice, and then they'll say, you do it again, and we'll cut you off. You won't have any internet to enjoy anymore. And if you get your internet cut off, well, that's like cutting your head off these days, isn't it? You basically are removed from the world.
Does that mean you're blacklisted from other providers as well?
I think that is the intention, because all of the providers will be talking to each other. It's like bars in a town who will share the picture of somebody who smashed one of the bars up. If you barred from one bar, you barred from the lot, right? Andy Burnham, the Culture Secretary, said that while regulation was not the first preference, he did not feel that he could stand by and ignore wholesale breaches of copyright. British music is one of our biggest success stories, he says, and I don't want it to be wasted away. It's actually a serious point, this, because by stealing music, and there's an entire generation of people who've grown up with the internet, and because when the internet started, which of course was not that very long ago, it was a bit of a Wild West scenario. It was like sort of pirates. They were vagabonds running, outside of the law, essentially. And so this idea that everything that's on the internet is free hasn't actually dissipated yet. That notion is still fixed in the period when the internet came into being. But of course, when that happened, there wasn't the possibility of acquiring so much copyright information. You just couldn't get it. But to take that idea now, when essentially everything that has ever been made is available without paying for it in some way or another, is killing the industry. And if you, as an artist, you work on an album for a year, 6 months, 2 weeks, whatever it is, and you release it and no one buys it, but everyone enjoys it anyway, well, why bother? What's the point? So we are actually killing the goose that's laying the golden egg. And I think that that's an idea that kids are finding it a bit hard to get their head around. That just because it's on the net doesn't necessarily mean to say that it's free. So that was what my question was. What would you nick? There aren't many people who would walk into Virgin and put some DVDs in their coat and wander out. But there's no end, almost literally no end of people who would download movies off the net and watch them for nothing. Right? I'll end with some tales of criminality, which amused me at the time. One moment. There's try and squeeze these in. A disabled armed robber who held up 2 shops was caught as he made his escape on a walking frame. Kevin Staples was detained by a security guard as he shuffled away from one of the stores he held up. He was jailed for a minimum of 4 years. He had hobbled up to the counter at a gift shop, produced a 12-inch bread knife, and ordered the cashier to empty the till. Staples is the man. He suffers from severe arthritis, back problems, and needs a hip replacement, then tried to lunge towards the till. But when the shop assistant shouted at him, he carefully put the weapon in a bag on his walking frame and hobbled out. The slow-moving robber was caught by bemused security guards before he could leave the shopping centre. 2 days earlier, he had attempted to hold up a bottoms-up off licence by waving a walking stick in the air. "Give me all the money from your safe or I'm going to batter you," he said. When an assistant said that he did not have access to the safe, Staples mumbled, "Well, give me some fags then." And finally, a 43-year-old Italian was arrested on suspicion of kidnapping his ex-girlfriend from a pub in Genoa, taking her home, and forcing her to iron his clothes and wash the dishes in the sink. He was apparently upset that she'd left him. He was upset that she'd left him all of that housework. Quite right, too. Hey, Raj, you ain't got much time. What have we talked about tonight, eh?
We spoke about abusive expense claims, knowing about it, Whitehall shredding machines, iPods and fish tanks, sailing up for profit, bean feasts, solid gold electric toothbrushes, congestion charge, fines, paying the charge, I tell him.
Oh, Clive's next, LBC.
I'm a road accident.